All right. I'm going to jump in now. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Boom. All right. So, anybody who was around earlier. Oh, there we go. That's a little nicer. Anybody who was around earlier for ZBrush Live, this is where we got to with the Christmas ornament. Lots of fun. Still a long way to go. And I think I got an idea for something that I'd like to do with him. So what I'm going to do, oh, looks like I've already got that masked out. So I'm going to go up to this one. I'm also going to go up to the hand. Are they different polygroups? There we go. That's better. I was like, there's gotta be a way to make sure that this is working right. Okay. So the hope is to make it so that I've got my character kind of reaching down and holding on to the character beneath him. Okay, so kind of hanging down, something like that. Let's check it out and see kind of how it feels. Not terrible, but not great. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this little bit here. Let's go ahead and let's straighten this out. Oh, let's come here, you. Soften that out some. Because I think something that'll make this feel a little bit better is having... Do I have my AccuCurve turned on? No, I don't. Okay, so that's really weird. I had no idea what was going on right there. But yeah, let's try to get this so that this feels a little bit straighter. Okay, and then we'll bring the arm up, put it into place. Okay. So the idea will be for this hand to be kind of underneath this hand. So let's kind of resituate this so that this is fitting proper. Okay, that'll work out pretty all right. So now I just need to kind of rearrange this body here. Let's save this as a second round here. By the way, welcome. If you're just barely connecting in, I see we've got some people over on YouTube and on Twitch, so that's good. Feel free to ask questions. I'm just kind of trying to continue the project that I was working on earlier today as part of my live stream for ZBrush Live. Yeah, it's all just fun. Let's make sure we've got the legs piece selected here so we can kind of pull that in. Okay, this fur that's kind of going around the outside here, I want to make sure that I'm down-resing it so that we can control this a little bit more easily, right? Hey Prashan, how you doing, buddy? Just trying to continue my my ornament sculpt from the stream from earlier. You know what? We're going to try to do some of this. You know what? We're missing something here. What are we getting extra that we don't want to be getting? Alright, let's take this. I'm going to say Control W. I'm going to say Control Shift X to grow that selection so we have that. But I want to say Control W on that so that way we have, let's make it a different color so that it's easier to see. Thanks, man. I'm having so much fun with it. And that's the idea, right? That's the idea. Yeah, and I've just got to make sure that this feels like it's kind of wrapping around his body some. That's coming out a little too far. Let's fix it. There we go. Got this. We got this. Okay, let's kind of pull that up some. Just get us a little bit of volume change here. Kind of pull this back. Pull this back. Alright, it's not too bad. That pink needs to make, like, I need to make sure that that pink is properly hidden. Because the pink is supposed to be kind of the back space behind the belt loop, right? So, you know, trying to make it sure that that feels good. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to split this so that it is, oh, come here, you. So that in the very least, it's easy enough to manipulate one side independent of the other. That's better. Just trying to make sure that I'm getting just the one side ready to go. I will be printing this. This will be a this will be my Christmas ornament for this year. Let's go ahead and kind of pull that down and out like that. That works. That works pretty well. So the idea is for this whole piece, the elves, the characters part of the ornament, to be 3D printed, and then this ribbon, this red ribbon that he's hanging from, it's really just kind of a stand-in. It's just for me to be able to kind of block in the idea, you know, make sure that it's something that that I'm thinking about, like how this guy is going to hang. But yeah, I mean, so far so good. Let's make sure this is kind of hanging underneath here so we can get the right I just don't want this to be too rocked. You know, I want him to feel like he's staying in this sort of orientation. Go ahead and push that in. Try to make the right forms in here. This is going to need to be kind of pulled back and in some. Alright, time to grab this and boom. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. So the idea is to get this so that this is all, what's it called? So that he's all finished out, and get the second character. I want to get the second character posed. Posed in here during the stream. I don't know that I'll be able to get more than that. But we definitely want to try to get something fun, you know? Try to make sure that I'm keeping forms in here. I'm keeping in mind kind of what's happening with the body underneath it, you know, that sort of thing. Okay. Hanging brings up interesting problems. The tilt will depend on the center of gravity, but I think you can kind of eyeball it too. Yeah, so that's the whole. That's the whole point of going through kind of at this sort of stage and trying to just kind of like blocking it in, but also trying to, in fact, let me grab this right here and try to work on this part. There's this idea. I'm trying to think of like the masses of, like, you know, I've got like some of this going in here and this going in here. This is easily the heavier end. The head is easily the heavier end, right? But the thing that I'm trying to think about is also, I think I'll just kind of keep it light, but I'll up-res it some. And while we talk, maybe we can go ahead and save. The thing that I want to try to be mindful of is that I have things hanging from him. So it's not going to be just a matter of simple center of gravity thing. It's like there's also going to be things hanging from him. So I'm not too worried about center of gravity being like big issue for me, because, you know, something here will be kind of pulling his hand down, which will be pulling him down. Should hopefully work out pretty nicely. Cool. Hopefully. So yeah, there's one. Okay. So I'm going to try something. Let's say duplicate. I'm trying to think how I want to go about this. Looks like I've got, oh no, that's right. Let's hide that first one. Unmask these. Okay, now we can go ahead and we can say, actually we can probably just say, oh no. Okay, now we can go ahead and we can transpose set. Okay, so here's, I mean, this, I can use this as like a start. But one of the things I'm trying to think about is that I kind of want him to be holding onto the belt of the next guy. So maybe what we'll do is let's kind of bring this around. Kind of make it so that he's grabbing onto this dude's belt area, even though it's not really quite his belt. We'll make it into his belt. And maybe what we can do is we can try to kind of cheat this, because that's going to be a tricky. This is going to be a tricky bit to kind of go through and falsify. I don't really know what else to call it. I want this head to be cheated up a different direction. I kind of want to cheat the camera when I'm looking at these things. I'm trying to think about like how I'm looking at it and creating a composition based off of what it is that I'm seeing as I'm working on it. So I'm going to come over here. Let's kind of situate this head. Okay, this beard, let's go ahead and turn this off. Oops, turn that off. So you can see just kind of how messed up he looks right now. We'll have to do some resculpting, but it's it'll work. It'll work out. It'll be all right. Let me see. Let's go ahead and bring this over here, and we'll rotate a little bit. It's so hard to see sometimes what's going on. Okay, there we go. That'll work. Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. We're going to grab this arm. We're just going to try to rotate this down and fit it so that it feels like he's holding on to something from the next elf, right? Okay, with this guy though, we don't need this. We do need these, but we need them to be like shut. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take them. In fact, I want to try something. Let me try this instead. Let's come over here. I'm going to come into like this side view. I'm just going to kind of rotate them. And we'll kind of like push them into place. Let's try playing with this face. Okay, we got to get some good like brow furrow, like he's like exerting himself. And then I'm probably going to have to go through and like dynamesh some of these pieces together. The nose is one thing that I think I'll go ahead and I'll like change it out on this character. It's like with this particular piece, with this particular project, I'm trying to recycle things as much as I can because I recognize that the the more that I have to kind of start over from a T pose, the more time I'm wasting on something that I could have already had 50% of the way there. Let's go through. Let's grab this. We'll kind of like pull it in. Kind of pull that in a little bit too. So a lot of these sorts of details are details that for this particular project I can be really liberal with and really kind of loose with. I don't have to be absolutely perfect with it. It's more just a matter of getting it to feel about right. Let's see if we can get this. What printer do I use? I use the Form 2. Make sure I don't have anything selected that I don't want to have selected. And let's go through and just kind of use the move brush and kind of put this into place. I think it'll be a little bit easier kind of just pushing and pulling it rather than here, let's grab these two. And then we can just bring these brows down and make like a really good kind of complex grunt face there. Okay, this is fun. This is working out really nicely. In fact, let's maybe play with. I want to take his hair, maybe swing it over to the other side. But here, let's do this. I'm going to say deformation mirror, just so that it's the mirrored version of the hair. And we can bring it over and fit it in place. This way, like having the hair over on this side will help with the composition. Just gonna kind of get the hair so that it's kind of bridging and closing up that gap. Because in the end, this needs to be nice and solid. It needs to be well supported. It needs to fill in that gap so that it's not as fragile. Okay, there we go. So we've got that now. So now I've got two elves. And we've been streaming for a not very long time. Oh, this is fun. This is fun. Put that up, kind of pull this down a little bit just so we get a better curve here that fits more the this particular elf's positioning and the relationship with the hat and everything. Oh, that's working so well. Okay. Okay, we have two elves pretty close, right? Like this elf, I think, might need to work on getting this hand position about right. But oh, that looks pretty good. I think I just need to take it and kind of tweak it so that it's fitting more this. Here, let's grab this, put it up here, rotate it out, pull it down maybe a little bit. Oh, autosave, no. it's like, yeah, let's do autosave. Let's do it right now while you're trying to get something done. I actually don't know what time I did start. I don't think I've been going for very long. Here we go. Pull that up a little bit so that that's fitting in that space. I do want to kind of create something of a... Here, let's grab the standard brush and just kind of give like a little bit of a like cloth fold kind of coming out of there. In fact, maybe we'll use the clay brush instead, just because I feel like I need a little bit chunkier of a structure, a little bit chunkier of a form kind of coming out for these folds. That looks so much better. That looks nice. You know what? Let's see. Let's go ahead. We'll pull in another fold right here. Let's pull this in right here. Okay, something like that. And then that just feels a little bit more nice. Let's see, is there anything else that I need to kind of pull in? I think that that's probably fine. This bit technically right here could use something like that. These legs, I'm trying to think if I want to have the knees bent and have the feet kind of go up straight up behind him, or if I want to have it so that it is either way. I do need to make sure that this is rotating. Let's go ahead and make sure that that is masked. Let's go ahead and grab that. We'll grab those. Let's see if we get by rotating this. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's pull this a little bit so that it's not in the way. And then let's grab actually his whole body. Say subtool. Let's rename this folder elf2. And then we'll say transpose set. Yeah, I knew something was going to still be masked. Just to make sure that that's not masked, and then we can try. Yep, should be good there. So yeah, I've got this kind of going on, and the idea will be for this belt to kind of come up and kind of latch onto the hand here. For this to be able to work, I'm going to have, well, I'm probably going to have to modify this guy's hair. Not having the beard will hopefully be a good step in the right direction, but we'll have to see. Yeah, let's see. Let's grab this. We'll use the move elastic. Let's try this and see kind of like if this will work the way that we want it. It looks like it's working all right. Let's go ahead and kind of pull this down and in just so that it feels a little bit more squished by everything kind of going in around it. And then when we go ahead and we cut out the area that isn't going to be seen, we don't have to worry about it feeling too abrupt of a change. You know what? Maybe let's not do it as the belt. Let's do it as the collar instead. Because I think that this might work better for us. Because this might work to help center it more and keep it more more in line. Now we've got that kind of going up. Let's kind of fix this collar so that it feels like it's being pushed together. Something kind of like this, something kind of like this. Let's grab this just a little bit because this is like kind of messy. Just kind of grab that and just pull it up and in, just to clean up that little bit so that it looks a little nicer. And let's see what we got. Grab this eyelash, kind of pull it down just a little bit. Grab this eyebrow, or like the flesh, kind of bring that up a little bit. Standard brush. Grab that, kind of fill that in a little bit. Not a whole lot. That's too much. So now this area in here doesn't matter as much to me anymore because I've already kind of filled it in. So I'm not worrying about any of that anymore. But yeah, this is definitely getting close. You know what? I think I'm going to, let's go ahead and save it. I think I'm going to call this good for now. And then with the next one, I can go ahead and try to get my final elf on there. Yeah, get my final elf on there. And then the present as well. And that'll be something that I'll do like probably on my own stream. Mostly because we're nearing the end of November and I want to make sure that I can print and paint a couple of copies of these to to be able to gift. I've got a friend from Imagineering that I worked with when I was at Imagineering that I want to be able to do. He invited me to do an ornament exchange. So that'll be fun. It's been a while since we've done one of those. And then, yeah, hopefully get one out to my parents or something like that, maybe. We'll have to see if we can get there. Yeah, so far so good. I mean, it's funny. It's funny to see this sort of thing and to see things come together and the expression. I mean, this is what this guy looks like in uniform color, right? So right now it looks like this bottom elf is probably a little bit off center. So I'm just going to say transpose set. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm keeping in mind the center point, center point. Now I also want to go ahead and take his head. Let's try positioning it a little bit differently. Just to see if we like it. Because I do kind of like the idea of his head being, you know, like his face being easier to see. Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. I'll see about maybe playing with this next time I jump onto stream. Um, but yeah, I think that that's definitely a good way to go, because it definitely helps to get a little bit more. Oh, now here's an interesting idea. I'm curious. Curious. I'm going to say merge folder. Where's merge folder? There it is. Okay. So I'm going to take this guy. Deformation, mirror. Yeah, it covers up the other elf too much. I think it's probably better to, let's just delete this. Say okay. Turn this guy back on. And that's where we'll leave it. That's where we'll leave it for today. It's kind of funny. It's a funny idea, you know. You should do a holiday print, Prashant. Dude, it's so much fun. I mean, it's just one of those things that, with Imagineering, I mean, we were able to go ahead and, you know, have the big exchange. You know, it was just, you know, it became a thing, and it was something that everybody looked forward to, and yeah, it boosted morale and all that stuff. It was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah, not. Let's change up that focal shift there. So much so much going into like how this guy hangs. It's kind of funny. Just gonna go ahead and come on, Control Shifty. There we go. Go ahead and call that 2. And yeah, with everything we've got to fix, you know, and all the stuff going right and all that stuff, we're going good. We're going good. This is fun. At the end of the day, that's what it's all for. It's for having fun. All right. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to call that done for now, you know, anyway. because we still have the third elf to add, and that's going to be a fun one. That's going to be a fun one. Anyway, it was fun. Thanks for coming and joining me. I know it was a quickie. I know it was kind of a small stream, but it's always good having it's always good having a buddy around. Prashant, thanks for coming and saying hi and chatting and stuff like that. Yeah, I'll have to post like a turntable up on my Instagram, on my stories, and then I'll post a link to the stream and see if anybody's like, "Oh, that's fun." I don't know, we'll see. Yeah. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you next time I see you. Cheers.